Tonight we start not with the baseball, but with something that is even more head scratching, and that is what we saw from the Knicks here. Explain to me how a franchise and an organization, all right, MSG is a public organization, as you know. I've mentioned this many times. The stock MSG, which owns the teams in the stock, there's two stocks. The one owns the network, which is a stock you don't want to own. The one that I've told you about for years that has the teams in it is an incredibly valuable stock. It's now over $300 a share. It's worth over $7 billion in market value. You would think that despite the fact that they can't get out of their own way on the court, they have done well in terms of filling their arena and making money. Their property is worth a fortune. We understand that. I mean, from that standpoint, they're a thriving business. But here's the thing. How much worse can it get? I mean, in all the years, I don't think it's ever been more embarrassing than it was where you have guys. Now, this team has stayed quiet for months on end. As it continued to lose, as it has continued to just do nothing in the way of anything productive in terms of basketball play, in terms of what was going on the floor. And in many times when different things happened, not a sound. Now you have someone come out when the coach is actually, and the coaching staff is actually doing a credible job, doing a good job. Not that it's getting them anywhere, but all right, the guy is doing his job. He's working. He's trying to win games. He's actually made the team more focused, more productive. And you have some guy come out and act like he's running the franchise and come out and make these wild statements. I mean, it has reached a level where I said to someone today about it, I said, how much more of a laughingstock can this franchise become? I mean, how can you have someone come out and act like he's going to run the franchise? This guy's not the president of the team. Who decided, who gave this guy in any way put a thought in his head that he could come out and make the kind of statements he made about the franchise? To the point where he basically fired the head coach on national television. I mean, think about what we're talking about here, that the Knicks have to come out and basically say our branding specialist doesn't speak for the organization. When we do hire a president, he will be in charge of the organization. So we don't even have a president yet, although everyone knows who he's going to be. And the word is he's miffed by what happened. Miffed. I wouldn't even take the job if I was him now. This is so much past dysfunctional. This is almost where the rest of the league just has to be sitting there saying, hey, can you imagine that this jewel, and think about it, this is the most important arena in the world. It is built on about the most valuable property you could ever put a building on. The air rights above it are worth a fortune, a king's ransom. They have a license to print money. They can't chase the fans out of their building no matter what they do. And they've tried, and they cannot even chase them out of the building. And then they still act like this. They can't get better, and you don't even get an idea that they have an idea what they're doing. I would, if I was Dolan, I would have fired this guy. So I would have ripped his contract up. I don't care what he's getting paid. I would have ripped his contract up and told him to hit the street so fast he wouldn't have known what hit him. He should have been the first guy to go. Where was the famous Dolan temper there? He should have been the first guy to go. You let this guy clearly speaking out of school. So wait a second. You want a guy around who's going to make those kind of statements? Who thinks he, first of all, tells you how important he is to the franchise? This is the decision maker you want at the top of the franchise? He's going to tell you how important he is. He made up a bunch of nonsense of how important he was to other franchises, which everyone sat in the league and laughed at. And he comes out and he fires your coach who's actually doing a good job. I mean, how much worse can it get? How much more dysfunctional can it get? How much more embarrassing can it get? I mean, the rest of the league is sitting there and they're just sitting there saying, can you believe these Knicks? I mean, it's embarrassing. It's past comical. The players, why would you come here and be part of that? First thing that had to happen is you say, you know what? This guy not only doesn't speak for the organization, he doesn't work for the organization. You let him go out there, make the statements he made, and there's no repercussions except we want you to know he doesn't speak on basketball issues. He doesn't speak for the organization. That's your answer? You can go bully some 12-year-old kid because he says you should sell the team, but that's your answer to this guy? When he embarrasses your organization from coast to coast on national television? You want to somehow, some way, get somebody to believe that you have an idea what you're doing with this team. This team that cannot chase its fans away, which has a license to print money. Hey, I own that stock. It shows you, hey, I put my money in them as an investment because it's a good investment. That stock was 100 a couple of years ago. It's now 300. It closed today at 307, I think. Okay? 300, let me give it 307.33. It's worth more than that. It's a good buy. They're undervalued, their assets. And that's without them having a clue. Not a clue. But they're in the best arena on the best piece of property that anybody could ever land on. They can't screw it up financially, but they can't screw it up anymore on the court. And how you could let a guy go out there and embarrass your organization that way when you're going to the All-Star game and trying to make it look like to the rest of the league that you might be getting your act together, and that guy is still part of the organization, there's no hope. There is no hope. I asked someone about it today who should have a good read on it. You know what they said to me? Don't get me started. Past embarrassing. Really. You need that guy representing your organization? I mean, come on. Come on. Dignity, class, and just the idea of having a clue how to do business. I mean, come on. When does it end?